everybody, Eric Flowers, your Indian River County Sheriff, here at our aviation hangar, and I've got with me two of our pilots, Chase Gomez and Tommy Bird. Both of these guys are pilots here. They fly the helicopter that you see behind us, and I want to just talk about two things really, and we're going to get into their careers. And I know there are folks out there that say, I want to be a pilot, I want to fly helicopters for the Sheriff's Office. We'll talk about all that, but my main reason for bringing this on In the Know is twofold. One, every time the helicopter goes up, people put on social media, why is the helicopter flying, what's going on? I want to talk a little bit about their mission and some of the things that they do, so you'll understand that a little bit better. The other thing is, I want to talk about the cost associated with this, because there's some misunderstanding about the cost associated with this program, so we want to clear that up. So before we get into those things, just start off telling Chase, you started off as a deputy here at the Sheriff's Office, right?
Yes, sir. And
you actually already had your pilot's license before you started, right?
Yes, sir.
So you got into aviation pretty quick. Tommy, you had a little bit of a different experience. You started out as a deputy. You were in patrol when I started.
Yes, I've been with the agency since 2001.
Yep, and you over time got your pilot's license. You were volunteering with the unit?
Yes, that's correct. A couple years before 2014, I was volunteering as a tactical flight deputy, and then I acquired my rotorcraft license in 2014, and in 2015 I became a full-time member of the unit.
So, you know, some of the things that for young people that are interested in this, definitely going to the academy is a huge part of this. You want to go through the law enforcement academy because you guys carry guns, you're sworn deputies, you do all that stuff, because you might have to land somewhere out in the field, right, and address an issue or deal with something.
Absolutely.
Right,
yeah,
so that's part of it. The other thing is you're going to have to get a pilot's license at some point, and you know, there's a whole process that goes into it. There are different ways to do that, and you can work your way up. You can have it on your own. That, you know, there's different ways to do that. But if you've got that love of aviation, you know, this is a program that's not going anywhere. We've got this beautiful hangar. We've got these helicopters. There's definitely a spot for young people that have an interest in this career field, and definitely starting at the academy is a really good spot for that. But I want to talk about how we acquired these helicopters. And I want people to understand that it's not actually your tax dollars that go to purchasing a helicopter. These helicopters are purchased through what's called the 1033 program, right, Tommy?
Yes, that's correct. So typically a Jet Ranger could cost you over $1 million if you were to purchase it, you know, independently, privately. But through the military surplus program, you can acquire these helicopters for thousands of dollars.
Right. So when we purchase these, a lot of times we have to send somebody to another place. We currently are getting ready. We're refurbishing one that we acquired. It's a 95 model, I think it is, 1995. And it probably cost us more to get it here than it did to actually purchase the helicopter, right?
That's correct, yes.
So tell us a little bit about the helicopters that we have right now. This one behind us, what year is this one?
So this is a 1972, it's a OH-58. The OH stands for Observation Helicopter. It's a military variant of the certificated Bell 206. The military in the Vietnam era, they stretched the tail boom and made the main rotor blades a little bit longer to create more lift for the missions that they carried out. But it's still a Jet Ranger helicopter, just a military variant.
And we're currently getting newer models. This is a Vietnam era, and with this program, this 1033 program, we're slowly replacing these older helicopters as they're aging out of the fleet, right?
Yes, that's correct. We have a 1996 and a 2002 206 Jet Ranger, which has not been modified by the military. It's a TH-67, which stands for Training Helicopter. These helicopters were used in Fort Rucker, which is where they train Army pilots to get their, have the ability to fly helicopters in the military.
Now on the funding side of this, when you guys need rotor blades and you need parts, there's another program that's a federal program that you're able to purchase parts at a discount, like a really discounted rate, right?
That's correct. So the military also has, through the Defense Logistics Agency, an 1122 program. It basically allows a participating organization that's in the 1033 program to purchase parts at a discounted rate. So for example, if something may cost you $6,000, if you bought it through a vendor, it could cost you about $800 through the 1122 program. So there's a significant cost savings if that part is available through that program.
And the majority of the times when you guys are up flying, the cost to the taxpayer really boils down to fuel and your salaries, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that people don't really understand about this. Over the course of time operating an aviation unit, if you are a larger sheriff's office and you go out and purchase these expensive helicopters, which there are many sheriff's offices that have several $million helicopters, it gets to be an expensive program, but we've been able to do this since, what, the early 90s? We've had it in
I
the
believe
90s?
since 1995 or 1996 is when the helicopters became a part of the sheriff's office.
And with those helicopters, we were able to acquire them at a next to nothing cost. The parts are next to nothing. Really a great program. And you guys are that eye in the sky. I mean, you know, Chase, how many times have you been out there and you guys are able to spot things from the sky that deputies wouldn't be able to see otherwise, right?
A lot of times. There's been multiple occasions where we're on a patrol flight and we see, you know, some kind of suspicious activity, and we're always alerting ground units, you know, of where it's going on and getting units there in time.
So it's great you mentioned patrol flight. That goes right into my next topic of conversation. Part of your day, you guys schedule regular patrol flights as part of your training, as part of hours that you guys need. So there are times where you guys go up and you're running patterns, that you're checking areas, you're doing training. Just because you guys are up doesn't necessarily mean we're looking for a bad guy, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and there are times you guys work with our drug unit, you work with our, you know, our sex offender unit, you're keeping an eye on certain areas and looking for suspicious things. You have a patrol from the sky, just like patrol cars. You know, we don't get a call every time there's a patrol car in a neighborhood, but for some reason when you guys go up, they say, why is the helicopter up? But you guys patrol just like everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah, like before I start my shift, I will look at the daily logs, daily crime logs, and I look for areas that, you know, are hot zones that I call them, you know, areas that may have sustained auto burglaries or residential burglaries. So I'll amp my patrol up in those certain areas and, you know, just put a bird's eye view on it.
That's why you have to go to the academy. You have to understand what it takes to do the patrol job on the ground, to be able to do this job up in the air. You have to have a really good understanding of where you're at in the sky too. You guys blow me away. I can't tell you how many times I've been on the ground and you're telling me he's right over here off of, you know, 9th Court, and I'm like, how does he know from the sky? But I know you guys have great technology in there that helps you with that too.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been fortunate enough to complement these aircraft with state-of-the-art mapping systems and thermal imaging, which increases our capability of getting a better quality image to say whether or not that's a person or not. The mapping system that we currently use, the Churchill ARS, it allows us to actually touch the screen and we can get personal information up and tell exactly what that address is. Prior to this technology, it was a moving map on a piece of paper. You know, you would have to study maps to know your location. And it was nearly impossible to have like a specific address, more so just like 3 streets over. But you know, we've been fortunate enough to be able to complement these aircraft with state-of-the-art technology, which assists us in leaps and bounds with our missions.
The other thing is, when you are up and you're flying low over a neighborhood, flying a pattern, people see you and they start to panic. There are many times in our community where you guys are out there looking for missing elderly Alzheimer patients. You're looking for missing autistic kids. You know, there's many, you know, avenues that you guys use the helicopter for. It's not necessarily that, you know, escaped death row inmate all the time. And I think people automatically go to that mindset of saying, hey, you know, this must be something terrible if the helicopter's up. Not necessarily so, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I believe people have the assumption that since the helicopter is involved in the call for service, that it must be very important or very dangerous or some sort of threat to them that they need to be aware of. But again, like Sheriff Flower said, we're nothing but a force multiplier. We're a patrol car in the air. We're able to see further and quicker and have that ability of being in the air to allow us to see further in advance of a deputy and let them know what's ahead of them.
I've heard before that the helicopter can replace up to 10 guys on the ground because of what you can see. Would you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you guys are an incredible asset. We're certainly grateful for what you guys do over here at the Aviation Unit. And when we go to our Youth Ranches barbecue, when we have those things or any other events out in the public, you guys always bring the helicopter out for the kids to see and hopefully inspire that next generation of pilots that are interested in doing this job. So, you know, there are definitely people that are interested in what you guys do. Thank you for what you do. And this is just a little bit more information about our aviation program here at the Sheriff's Office. We're certainly proud of these folks. We're proud of our program, and we're happy to be here to serve our Indian River County. So thanks for tuning in to In the Know. We'll be back with you next week or next month with more exciting topics. Thanks for joining us.